I'm Chris Tuck, a financial advisor, CFP, with a passion for educating my clients about investing. My father-in-law, Scott Kleiman, founded the practice, and together with my wife, Lindsay, and amazing staff, we are making a place to feel more at home with investing. This is Advisors in Cars Getting Coffee. Today, we are going out with Fran Salerno of Del Val Insurance Group. He's an independent broker who represents multiple property and casualty insurance carriers. He's been in the industry for over 30 years. Today, we'll be driving a Nissan Figaro. It was made for the Japanese market, so the steering wheel's on the right side. It also has a soft top in the middle, which opens up. It's mint green with a white interior.
Hey, Chris. Hi. Wow. That looks too small. I think I'm going to meet you guys there.
I think, might be a little tight.
I got to get it on this side.
All right, guys.
Oh,
How do you like it?
where'd you find this wheel?
Oh, our friend Candace from Habitat for Humanity, she lent us the car for the day. It's pretty neat, right? Yeah,
It's great.
Everything's opposite.
What a great car. What a great color. You have to tell me more about it.
Absolutely. So,
First, can you drive from this side? That's the question I have.
well, I'll tell you, parking's a lot easier
Yeah.
on this side of the road.
Sure.
Yeah, so it's tiny, as you can tell. We got a soft top. A nice day today. I thought we had the top
Beautiful.
down. It's a Nissan, and I think it was 1991, and they made it for the Japanese market. She was telling me.
Hence the
So
wheel
that's
on
why
the-
it's all on the right-hand side.
Okay.
But everything's opposite, so I might turn the windshield wipers on a few times instead of the turn signal here.
I love it. It's a very cool car.
You ready to go?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. It's only got a 75 horsepower motor with a little turbo, so
Okay. Love the color, mint green.
mint green.
Like the little soft top.
I'll tell you what, it's hard not to have a smile on when you're driving this car.
And it's, you know, the strange part, because I'm sitting here, I'm reaching for the gas pedal. Like I should be
Let
driving.
me know if the brakes work over there.
I will. I will.
It's neat, right?
The Figaro.
Yeah, and everything's like a lot of little details. Like there's little shells for the.
I love the dash. Dash is clean with all the chrome and everything.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, very
Nice
cool.
for cruising around town.
Definitely a little Sunday afternoon drive car,
Absolutely.
right? Yeah, great.
So I thought today we go get some coffee.
Okay.
We're going to a place in Peddler's Village called Old Village Roasters. They actually roast the coffee there right on site in a fire.
Okay.
So they get they ship the coffee beans from all over the world
Okay.
and roast them in a fire. Let's just make sure we get this turned down right there, and it gives it just a different flavor because it's roasted in a wood-fired oven. It's pretty neat.
Sounds great. Well,
Thanks for joining us this morning, having some coffee with us. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you do and
Sure.
what you specialize in?
absolutely. First of all, thanks for having me. At Del Val Insurance, we specialize in property and casualty insurance. We take care of both your personal needs, which is your auto, your home, your umbrellas. We also take care of all forms of business insurance, from general liability to professional to cyber coverage, etc. So if you have a business, we can pretty much take care of all the risks associated with that.
Right. Is there anything changing in your industry that might be relevant to our clients?
Yeah, I mean, some of the things that are happening in the industry that have caused some concern is that one of the things that we're seeing is that we're seeing a lot more distracted driving claims. You know, we're seeing that the texting and driving has become the #1 cause of losses for auto claims. The other thing is we're seeing is that there is no such thing as a small claim anymore. Today, with the cars, with the computers and the cameras, a slight tap of the bumper could be a $5,000–6,000 claim. And the other interesting thing is now that we're seeing so many catastrophic storms, hurricanes and whatnot, we're seeing increase in homeowners claims as well.
Is there anything else that could affect the cost of premiums that come into play?
The frequency of claims, the texting and driving, has caused insurance companies to see more claims. The catastrophic storms that are causing more homeowners claims. these have a direct impact on rates that the carriers are charging. So we do see slight increases because of those things.
Okay, interesting.
Fran, could you tell us some of the biggest misconceptions in your industry?
Yes. Unfortunately, the industry has been really driven by price. And people are choosing to purchase their insurance based on the lowest price. We at Del Val think that that's a little bit backwards, because we think that coverage is first, and then finding the coverage at the right price is really what you need to do if you're doing a good job. It's very similar to what you do at SJK Wealth Advisors, is that you kind of get to know your client. You want to know a lot about your client. You want to know where they are financially. You want to know what their assets are. You want to design a plan that meets their goals and objectives, so that you can fully cover the risk. The other thing is, with us, we have the ability, once we develop that information, we know the coverages that you need, we have between 10 and 14 companies we can go to find you the best price. So the last thing you really want to do is just buy something based on price, because you might find out that if you have a claim down the line, that what you thought was covered is not, because you based your decision on price instead of coverage.
So Fran, a lot of these policies and policy design could be complicated, and sometimes consumers don't really know what questions to ask. So what are some things you should consider with designing policies smartly, in a smart way?
Good question. So one of the things that we kind of touched on it earlier is that we really want to get to know our customer. We want to know what their goals and objectives are, like we talked about. In addition to that, there's certain coverages that clients need to be aware of. There's things called water backup that cover surface water, which most policies don't. There's a new coverage out there called sewer line coverage, which covers the pipe underneath your house all the way to the street.
Wow.
And umbrella policies, which are important to certain clients.
So, umbrella policies, we hear those a lot, and certainly something that Scott and I advise to our clients. I think a lot of people don't know what an umbrella policy is, at least that's the sense that we get. Mm-hmm. So just for our clients watching, could you explain what an umbrella policy is?
Yes, and you're right. Most people don't understand the benefits of an umbrella. So what an umbrella is, it's drop-down coverage that in the event of catastrophic loss, and a customer or a client was to be sued for an amount above their bodily injury limits or their liability limits, the umbrella would then pick up coverage from that point on. Generally sold in increments of $1 million. $1 million of coverage is relatively inexpensive, somewhere between $200 and $300 per year. And I often tell my clients, if you really think about it, if you do get sued because of a catastrophic loss, the cost to just talk to a lawyer for a half an hour, if you don't have an umbrella, would exceed the cost of $1 million umbrella, which gives you really the whole team of lawyers to represent you in that lawsuit.
Right. So the insurance company actually represents you as
the insurance company.
Team of attorneys.
Yeah, the insurance company will defend you, and with defense coverage as well as if there is a claim.
Fran, that's an interesting point you bring up, just about if you get sued. There's a misconception, I think, that people think they're maybe covered with everything if they get sued. So if someone does get sued, is it just tied to auto or your home?
So basically umbrella policies, if you pick up an umbrella on your personal auto and home, that will cover your home, any seasonal homes you may have, any dwelling fires or landlord policies that you may have. It'll also cover you in the event of an accident if you're at fault and you're sued. Under the homeowners, it covers you for slander. It does not cover you if in the event of some type of business lawsuit. And then again there, you should have your own umbrella for your business.
Gotcha.
And you mentioned when we were talking earlier about pools, people with pools should definitely always have umbrella coverage, right? Could you just talk about that real quick?
Chris, that's a great point that I failed to bring up. Yeah, people that have a swimming pool, you have a risk. if something should happen, an accident in that pool, something catastrophic should happen, absolutely any homeowner that has some type of swimming pool should have an umbrella.
Yeah. So, I mean, Scott and I, when we were talking with clients, it's a new client come in. A lot of times we see they don't have an umbrella policy. Certainly, we both have them. We see how important they are. But from your sense, let's say you meet 10 people. How many of those would you say actually carry umbrella coverage?
Most do not.
Mm-hmm.
The referrals that I get from SJK
Sure.
almost always have an umbrella, and let's compliment you guys there for doing that. Most people are unaware that the coverage even exists,
Right.
and really because no one's really ever talked to them about it. So once you have the conversation, you talk to a client about what's the risk, what's their assets, what's their financial situation, what's the value of their home, the value of their cars. We'll make a recommendation. When we put a proposal together, most times it includes an umbrella. And when a client is educated, most times they will choose to go with that umbrella.
Right. And do you have a rule of thumb of how much coverage someone should have on their umbrella?
Realistically, we take a look at almost their net worth.
Okay.
So if we have a client that has a $5 million net worth, they should probably have a $5 million umbrella. We want to make sure that we're protecting all their assets, just like you do at SJK. You want to protect their assets.
Right.
So Fran, what's the benefit or the difference of using a broker versus what we refer to in the industry as a captive agent?
Great question. So the main advantage to using an independent broker like myself is we have the ability to be an advocate for our clients' pocketbook. We have the ability to shop numerous carriers, companies. We also are not a 1-800 type of number. We are there in the office every day. You can speak to myself, you can speak to my associate, you can speak to our CSRs. We really try and be in the process with our client through all of it. We're there to potentially shop you at a renewal should you get an increase from the current carrier you're with us. We help with claims. We talk to our clients about how to process the claim, what's the best way to go about it. We really like to think that we provide our customer with a personal touch. And on the flip side, if you're talking about being with a captive agent, they have one company, one rate, so it's hard for them to compete with someone like an independent broker who has access to multiple companies.
Well, it sounds a lot like SJK, Wealth Management, and not representing one company and putting the client first and really working and building that relationship. So I think there's a lot of similarities there. Fran, thank you so much for coming out today and taking some time, having some coffee, driving a nice little car. We really appreciate everything Del Val does for our clients, and we really value our relationship. So thank you again.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks,
you both.
Fran.
Yes, Scott.
Hey, you can't fit. You're coming with me.
Okay, see you guys at the office.
See you back at the office. Oh, I think you're on the wrong side.
I think it's the wrong side here, Frank.